live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess.
And I am Stephanie Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 72?
Three.
73.
Okay.
I remember now.
Okay. Listen, I'm the worst at this, so don't.
Nah, you've been the best the last few weeks because I say a number and you're like, no, that's not right. But no, so it's funny that I know initially, for those of you who are listening right now, we are recording on the day that it comes out, right? And this is the second time we've done this. And I know initially I was worried about that because I'm like, all right, well, it has to be edited and we got to get it uploaded. And if something happens with the upload, like we're pressed against time and I got to be at work at a certain time. And it's funny how like when schedules get packed and stuff gets pushed against the wall, like you just adapt to it. It's like, all right, so we're gonna record this jump at 8:30. We will go for
y'all heard
hour,
what he said though, 8:30, right?
Yeah. I got Stephanie up super early this morning.
So y'all, Fridays is my day off.
Yeah.
From my job as life coach through my company. And so I typically spend Friday chilling, right? I'm not up, I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jay was like, 8:30. I sent him the big eyes, like, oh my Lord, like, wait, what? What? But no, I get it and I'm good with it. Y'all, you know what? If this is how we have to roll, this is how we have to roll. And I hope y'all okay, because this, he just said it. This is that second time we've had to do this. So y'all see, I'm casual again today. Like, this is my look from walking the dog.
y'all gonna have to accept this casual now, because in fairness, and I guess this part just will never be fair, because recording at 8:30 means that Stephanie, has to get up a little earlier.
Been up since 6.
I probably rolled out the bed at like 8:15.
No, 6 o'clock this morning, sir, in order to be at least decent and retina. Literally, this is what I walked the dog in this morning. What I have on is I don't have makeup, nothing. I put a little gloss on my lip just because I was like, well, don't just be all dry mouth on the show. But outside of that, like, literally, this is just me after walking the dog.
I got up, sent you a text. I called Miss McKeechin. Well, I probably shouldn't. I called one of the teachers at Doug, brushed my teeth, and then came and sat in front of this computer.
My day can't start like that. So I have the dog. I have to do my stuff. I spend my time, devotional, all that kind of.
Yeah.
So God gets first for me. So that's why I'll take the extra time to, get up and do whatever. But it was just whew.
Oh yeah, okay. So I did get up at 5:15, but
I know you.
The issue is I went back to sleep. Yeah. I got up at 5:15 and went back to sleep around 6.
No, sir. Not happening. I was mad, and when 6 o'clock came, I was like,
Oh, you feeling so bad, especially with this being your day off.
No,
Stephanie been such a trooper with this, because my schedules have just been all over the place with virtual education starting again, with me working not one but 2 jobs, and the first one they really want me to work.
How dare they? What are you talking about?
Shout out to my grandma. I was watching videos of my grandma the other day.
Oh.
She's the type who would go to work and try to boss the boss.
Uh-huh.
So
I feel her.
one day she was working at this retirement home, and she was like, doing work with the folks who, were staying at the home. And I went with her one day, and I think I had to be somewhere like 11 or 12 or something like this. And I hear her talking to her boss, and she was like, I ain't come here to do no work. At 11 and 12, I'm like, who is she talking to?
That's right.
At the end of the day, found out that's her boss.
I'm not mad at all. Like, just tell your truth, Grandma. Amen. Rest in heaven on that one. Like, for real.
Rest in peace, Grandma.
Like, for real. Well, excuse me? No, I didn't come here to work.
Right, I ain't come here to work.
Look, using that playoff voice. Work.
Oh, man.
I love it. That's right. Sometimes you just have to. I have done that before. I have told my supervisor, like when all of this social unrest started and I was just in a place and didn't know like how I was going to, how to maneuver for myself, work in this world and in this space. And just so y'all know, I work in a industry where it's well, I think that's everybody, but for me particularly, that's true that I work in an industry that is majority white. Like literally, I am the only Black person on my team. And there are very few of us, other than the ones that are in the actual clinics, that are a part of anything outside of the clinical staff.
Wow.
Yeah, very few. And so, and even in that resonated with me. It was always, I was aware, but it wasn't hitting me like it did after all of that. And so when he, we have a monthly like one-on-one, and I was just honest. He was like, how you feeling? I said, I'm not feeling good. I was like, I don't want to do any work. My head is not in this. I'm not doing any work. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I don't want to do any work right now. My head's not in it. And he was like, I get it. And I guess being that I am the only Black, he wasn't going to be like, you better,
Right.
I understand. Okay. Like, So I just was in a space. I mean, I did my work. I'm not saying I wasn't working because I was having to see patients. So obviously I was doing my work, but I wasn't laser focused like I typically am. And I really wasn't just feeling it. Like I was doing it, but I was just doing it because I knew I had to kind of thing. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Sorry.
So, no. Honestly, like, I kind of like this trail that we done went on or whatever, because while we typically talk about sport and sport related things, I think this moment in time is a bit too monumental for us to not discuss.
Yeah.
And what you were just saying just made it pop in my head, even though it happened a few days ago.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Just had a Black woman. Let's clap it up for that. Black woman be named as a running mate for the presidency.
Yeah.
And
wow.
No matter how you feel about her personally, because I've been saying a lot of different things.
Oh God, don't get me started on that.
This is monumental. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got to get beyond the pettiness, y'all. The bigger picture.
Yeah. It's like people are so focused on the tree that they're not seeing this entire forest that,
it's huge.
Like,
this is huge.
And I I've heard all of this stuff. I've looked at her record on.
I know when she was Attorney General and stuff, and all. I mean, okay, and
sue me. I'm rooting for everybody.
I'm just saying. Listen, and my thing is, you would complain about the things that she did as Attorney General versus what we're getting from the president right now. Like, and so to say I'm not gonna go vote is a slap in the face to a man who just literally spent his entire life fighting for us. And I'm talking about John Lewis.
John Lewis. Mm-hmm.
to be in this space, in this place, to have this opportunity to vote. And because you don't agree with some decision she made when she was let's be clear, she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And she might, if she could speak on it, she might speak on it and be like, you know what, some of that stuff I did, because we're human. And
Right.
some of that stuff I did, I wouldn't do now. Or even she might stand on her principles and say, I would still do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, that is not the point. If we're going to compare records of things that are atrocious that people have done, I still think she's going to win out.
Yeah.
In that she's not done half
and,
of
and
half
I don't even think it's close between her and the Cheeto.
It is not. It is
so
not.
If we want to
so I don't care how you feel, go vote.
Yeah.
I don't care how you feel, go vote, because that's a right that people died and have been tortured and put through hell to give you.
Right.
And then on top of that, if you're going to weigh them out, let's be clear, she's going to be the vice president.
Right.
Joe Biden is still going to be the president.
Yeah.
So anyway, see, you started me. I was doing
listen,
don't get me started.
It's good. I felt like we had to address that. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to, like it's too big of a moment in history to not address that.
Yeah, like come on.
So again, shout out to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, yeah. Was she one of my no, but I'm excited anyway. Like she a favorite. She a favorite now.
She's not right.
She's my favorite now, so it doesn't matter. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going Issa and Wale with this. Like, I'm rooting for everybody black. I'm rooting for everybody.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with her. I mean, I feel like Joe Biden did his due diligence. And if that's the choice he made after having been the vice president himself,
right,
understanding more than most what that entails and what that needs. And so I feel like if he vetted and he did his due diligence, and this is the person that he feels like could best help him, not just win an election, but when the election is over, you still got to be in a role. Like you still don't want somebody just because they look a certain way to be in that role, because he could have easily picked anybody he wanted to. So he picked her, he vetted her, it was a reason. And so we need to trust that. Just like we trusted President Obama when he picked Joe Biden to be his running mate. We need to trust that Joe Biden is now making a decision based on more than just demographics. Because he already had the black female vote. So he didn't go get Kamala Harris for that black female vote. I don't believe that. I don't
think so either.
So,
I don't think so either.
So we'll see.
And just know that when they get in office, us Howard University
graduates, of course, I knew that was going to come out.
We are going to be
y'all gonna be like the Cowboys.
We're insufferable now.
Y'all gonna be like you're gonna be like the doggone Cowboys fans. You want to get punched in the face.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. Hot dog. I can't wait. I'll take it. If that's what it takes to get this done, I'll take it. I'll listen for 4 to 8 years of y'all just talking smack. I'm good with that.
You got a bison in the White House.
I'm going to be good with that.
And it's only right, too. It's only right.
Oh, my God. Lord,
I know. See, I told you. So it's starting already.
Go. It's already starting.
It's starting already.
Help us. Help all the rest of us, Lord. And I feel so bad for every other HBCU. I'm so sorry.
Folks already blocking me and stuff
I'm sure. Like, yeah. I'm gonna just have to get my patience together for you. It's all good. All good.
Let's jump into this. Who's really right?
Okay.
So what we've seen over the last few days is that at least 2 Power 5 conferences have made the decision to delay the season, not cancel it outright.
Right. Not yet. Yeah.
To delay the season.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some conferences and frankly some schools that are in those conferences who are like, listen, we trying to play football by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Now,
I think Nebraska had to come. They back theirs back though.
No, that's because the board, the trustees, and the president told head football coach Scott Frost to sit down. You don't speak for the entire university.
Right.
Which he needed to hear. He needed to hear.
Yeah, because that was you were on some you was on one with that one. So I don't know where you were, but
We're gonna play football.
But anyway, right.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay. You gonna scrimmage each other? Because I don't know what else.
That's the only football you're gonna be playing.
That's it.
It's funny that you say that too, because I think that's the lead into what our Who's Really Right is for this week. And it's is it possible for college football to pull off a bubble type situation like the NBA is doing?
Yeah.
And we've seen the NBA do it, and it's working well as long as folks ain't trying to go get chicken wings.
Well, I was gonna say, as long as Lou Will stay out the Lou Will lemon peppers.
Listen, you gotta have them Lou Will lemon peppers.
What? No, I don't. I don't know how I'm gonna get them. Maybe they can bring them out to my car because I ain't going in.
Oh no, they do Uber Eats.
Oh, okay, I can't take no more.
They do Uber Eats.
Let me tell you something. What I won't be doing, because they charge you a delivery charge and a service fee.
Oh, yeah.
What I won't be doing is spending $30 on some chicken wings from the strip club. That's what I won't be doing.
See, you worried about the wrong thing here.
No, I'm not.
Get where it's coming from.
No, sir. That is not possible. There will be no forgetting.
Would you get the wings from American Deli?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
No, it's
not.
About
where they coming from.
No, I will not. Not happening.
No, but how do you feel about this though? Like, do you feel college football could pull off a bubble type situation? Do you think it's possible?
Okay, so it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my elaborate plan if they want to pull this off.
Okay.
So this is to me the only way that this gets pulled off, and the reason it's worked for the NBA is because they've been able to contain those people, the everybody who is associated with making this happen, right? So what college football could do if they want to try to play, and this is going to be not cost effective. In any way, shape, or form. However, you could play football if that's what you really want to do. So what they would have to do is each team, and let me just say athletics, period, because I don't want to just make this about football, but athletics. But each team would have to be in a bubble on campus. In other words, everything would have to be encapsulated. You would have to have a space, a staff. So that's food, that's custodial, that's security, that's all of that. And they would just have to be in a space by themselves. That also includes and incorporates if they're going to travel, so you need your own plane that stays where you are. I'm saying everything's in this bubble, right? Your own pilots who stays in the bubble, your own bus drivers. You would all of the staff, all of the people who are involved, all the trainers, all the coaches, everybody would just have to live in this bubble. In my head, what I see is I'm about to age myself, but the Jetsons. Okay. And how they used to live in these bubble houses, like in space. Yeah. Like literally, you would almost have to literally create a bubble that you live in. Everybody has to stay there. You got to hire security because you're going to need somebody on every floor of whatever this space is that they're living in. Right. As well as on the perimeter of this. Right. And as well as on the perimeter of this space, because you're going to have to, because they're kids. We just saw a kid that just lost his scholarship because he was trying to sneak a woman in. So That's it. I don't know how else you do it. So if that doesn't sound too ridiculous to anybody, if you want to play football that bad, and that doesn't sound too ridiculous, that's how it's possible. I feel like that's the only way it's possible. Everybody just has to give up their lives, come stay in this bubble till football is over. Period. That's the only way I see it happening.
So you guys know this is Who's Really Right. So you know I'm on the other side of this thing. And so initially when we first talked, I told you that while it might be possible, it's improbable, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let me tell you why it's impossible.
Okay.
Everything that they would do in order to maintain this bubble, not everything. Some of the things that they would have to do to maintain this bubble would violate Title IX.
Oh.
Which would put us in a totally different situation. See, the reason why the NFL can have, we discussed the NFL, right?
Oh, my scenario,
the scenario
of how we would do that. Yes. I don't know that we talked about it on air.
We didn't talk about it on air, but you and I talked about it.
We talked about it, yes.
But with the NFL and the NBA, they are professional sports. Mm-hmm. With Title IX, for those of you who aren't aware what Title IX is, it's basically a law that says universities who are receiving funds from the government basically have to provide the same amenities for not just all sports, but for students on those campuses.
Oh yeah, I saw them talking about this. Okay.
Right. So some of those amenities would be a hit to Title IX, but the sheer first we would have to figure out who's going to pay for this, and I think that while the universities would be looked at as their responsibility, we know that the NCAA is going to be the people who makes all the money from it. And so what type of deal would need to be struck in order for this to happen? Because the universities aren't going to make sure this happens and the NCAA is going to be the only ones profiting from it, because the universities aren't going to be able to make money from ticket revenue or from concessions or, so
if they figure out how to do the digital thing, which is what the NFL is talking about, maybe.
The
digital seating.
I haven't seen that, so I had to look.
Yeah, they said the NFL is looking into the way the NBA has done it, which I don't understand how you do it outside, but hey, they can figure that out. But they're looking into trying to figure out how to do the same thing for the NFL, like digital seating.
Would that yield revenue though?
Yeah, they have to pay for those.
Do they?
Yeah, I believe the people for the NBA. I think those people are paying for those.
I saw my pastor's brother on there one day. I'm like, he paid for that?
Oh my God! Yeah, I believe so.
I'm
because I just find out, but I'm pretty sure they're paying for it, because when I was watching one of the basketball games, the commentator, I can't remember who it was, another NBA player was on one of the digital seats, and he was like, "Man, you trying to tell me he couldn't get a seat down front?"
Yeah,
because it was up a little bit. So
okay.
It has to
I
be
guess
some
makes
cost or something to it.
Yeah, associated. I mean,
because how else do you get on the? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you?
I thought it was maybe something you just registered for, and then
it could be.
Your number got picked, you were the person up there. But it makes sense if the NBA is doing it and people are paying for it, then I guess it does make sense to do that. And I guess that would be a way to supplant some of the ticket revenue that you would lose in not having actual fans in the seats.
Right.
But even still, I guess you would still get your money from the TV contracts.
Yeah.
Because those games would be, shown. But we also got to think about these people that you're paying round the clock to be inside of the bubble. And how many people are going to do that from August, or right now it's that September is probably
September.
what it looks like. People are going to do that from September all the way until January.
Yeah.
Let's say December because, it'll only be 4 teams by that time. Well, because Mark Emmert came out and said that there won't be any fall championships.
No championships, right? There won't be any of that. I mean, they'll just be playing to be playing. At this point, that would be like why I say, we outside of the bubble thing, like, what's the point of playing football if you don't have a championship to go to?
Exactly.
What's the point? Like, no bowls, no none of that. So what is the point? So, but if they just want to play because they just feel the need to hit somebody, then
right.
I feel like because and I didn't say this, the bubble would travel
right
to another team that's in a bubble. So you're ensuring that everybody that is involved is being tested and safe. You know what I mean? So that when those two teams come together, everybody in this bubble is safe and everybody in this bubble is safe. And so we can come together, play, go back, and we good. As long as you can do it like that. But that's a lot of work, a lot of money. Like you just said, it's a lot involved, more than I think any college football team, even at the biggest desire to play, is willing to put out there. But the question was, is it possible to play in the bubble? And I say yes.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I tell you.
With the investment goes the trust for the student athletes. And as you can see,
they're not.
Somebody's going to burst the bubble. Because if Lou Will could have got back to the bubble with them lemon peppers and nobody had known, he would have. And just imagine had he come back and spread COVID like a wildfire.
Yeah. That would have pissed me off so bad.
Oh, man.
I was already angry that you even did. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. But get this one. I just thought about it. So I heard from one of my patients that here in North Carolina, they're potentially not going to play the season until February.
The
football season.
Football? Okay.
No, high school.
High school? Okay.
Until February.
I can see that if the NCAA does the same.
That's why I said it, because I think that would probably be the way that they would be headed. No, you didn't just yawn after you got me. No, you did. Anyway.
Hey, look, I tried to do it like real subtle too. And
saw it. No.
Oh, man.
Anyway. But yeah.
I think that it's going to be tough for college because the NFL said that they're not moving their draft. Which.
Well, they say that right now. They say that right now.
They say that right now, but we know that the NFL feels like that they feel like they're invincible.
Yeah, right.
And so we did a podcast almost a year ago. Actually, it was well over a year ago, and I think it was you. It's gonna come to me in a second, Mrs. Moody, and myself, and we talked about the NBA usurping the NFL for the most popular sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the NFL is on that trajectory.
Yes.
Trajectory.
Absolutely. Yes.
I had to get it out.
You good.
They're on that trajectory to make that make my who's really right. So we won't have to go. We had to put a pin in that because I just thought y'all was right.
Not quite yet. We're gonna see.
I'm gonna refer back to that podcast. I'm gonna pull the audio from that joint.
Can y'all tell he's not really right a lot because he's really excited about this. Like, can we go back to who's really right? When I was right.
I gotta hop on the ones that
Cause I'm over here like, okay, like
I ain't right all that often, so I gotta hop on the ones where I am right.
Oh goodness, I love it.
But if you guys, if you agree with Step and you think that it is possible for the college football to pull off a bubble, then certainly let us know. You can let us know via Twitter. I've been active with the Twitter account.
Okay. All right.
So you can let us know. And you could just say, you could put hashtag who's really right, and then put either Stephanie or put Jarrett.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening.
Yep.
All right. So kind of an extension of this who's really right is that we've seen a lot of coaches come out to talk about this college football season and how they don't want it to be canceled.
We talked about Frost already, so we know where
so we know where he stands. But some other football coaches have come out to talk about it. And what do you feel about like some of the things that you've been hearing from these football coaches about having the season?
I feel like if they were really truly making these statements out of a place of compassion for the kids, which is the kind of screen that they're using when they talk about this. That's kind of been the main focal thing, is everybody's talking about it from the standpoint of what they think is best for the kids, right? So for me, this is a heart check, you know what I mean, as a coach. And I'm not so sure that even though they're saying it's about the kids, that's really what this is about. I think we're dealing more with egos and their own desires and wants, as well as revenue. Let's be clear. I think that they are not. I think we've seen a lot of them show us that they're not about these kids. Not really. And we had this conversation in our production meeting about one in particular that I absolutely don't think ever. He's not making any bones about it to me, in my opinion. He's never been the one to speak up or stand up or say things that were pro-student. It's always been about his program and winning. And I mean, Nick Saban. He's not really been the dude that, it's just not his personality, I don't think. Like, he's just not, I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know what he's like in the locker room. But like I told you the other day, I've never heard any kid come out and say, Nick Saban was like my dad, or like a father figure to me, or that's not his personality.
Right.
He's the Bill Belichick he's the Bill Belichick of college football, in my opinion. And so it's my program. It runs the way I want. And so he's very much about his football program. I feel like him even mentioning the safety of these kids was ludicrous, because to me, if I'm at home with my parental, whatever that looks like, even as an adult, even as a 22-year-old young man, if I'm at the house with my mama,
right,
she's not hearing me being all out in these streets like that.
Right.
Whereas if you telling me I'm safer on a college campus,
right,
or a college apartment, where we've seen, all I see is parties going on.
Right.
When they're back in their space of autonomy as young people, they do whatever they want to do. And you, Nick Saban, are not going to sit in front of their rooms and make sure they stay there.
At all.
You're not. So the audacity to say they're safer, and I hope that's what you were talking about from a COVID standpoint, and not about their environments, because again, that speaks volumes to me. If that's the stance is about safety from an environment standpoint, then you're making a huge generalization. And I know these kids, a lot of them do come from not so good environments. Yeah. However, to make that blanket statement is just wrong.
Well, I think he ruined the whole statement by saying at the end, you act like these kids can only get it from playing football.
Yeah. Well, so he was talking about COVID, but
my thing
football is not the concern, sir.
Right. To say that, though, you're saying that it's basically like, how do I want to put this? I mean, you're saying like, well, they can get it any other way, like the
right.
You know,
if they go home, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
so let's just expose them by letting them play football.
Right. He said, and then he used some of this Trump terminology of it's only like 2% of ours that have less than 2% or something like that have gotten it. One is too many.
Yeah.
Can we be clear? Because one is all it takes to infect the rest. Mm-hmm. Come on, sir.
But it is what it is.
So that's just one coach. I know you had another one that kind of rubbed you wrong in his statement as well.
So the difference with Dabo Swinney is that I think that he genuinely cares about his players.
I know he does. It's different.
I think that his statements come from a place of ignorance. Because you remember when we talked about this, three things that I feel like are the issue with this whole situation is that, money is kind of the driving force. But ignorance is as well. Some of these coaches I do believe have the best intentions for their players. Mm-hmm. But if you've been taking all of your cues from 45, then
I hope
you
not.
don't believe that this thing is as bad as it really is.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
That's really what you can't say you don't. You just don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think it's a
please don't say a hoax.
A hoax. Mm. And that these numbers are false.
Talk to somebody who's lost somebody
right.
and tell me it's a hoax. I just got a problem with it. I want you to go look somebody in the eye who lost somebody and tell me that it's a hoax. I want you to do that. Anybody go look somebody in the eye who's lost somebody and tell them that. Mm-hmm. I lost my cousin 2 weeks ago.
Man.
She was younger than me. Yeah. She was way younger than me. Yeah. Hello. So no, this is not a joke. And no, it's not. It's not a joke. Mm-mm. And it's not a hoax. And so no, these coaches, it's so crazy that we keep having to have these conversations about them in regards to the livelihood and the fulfillment of these young men. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think the coaches, and it could just be because we're talking about major programs and all these, it's a lot of kids. When it is, football is a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And that's staff, the players, it's a lot of people to manage as a coach. Mm-hmm. I get it. But I think if your core, who you are, is truly for these kids, and you truly doing what you do for the right reasons, and whatever those right reasons are, I'm not saying, I can't necessarily say what I think those right reasons are right now, but I know that there are some that should be across the board for every coach who does this. And so even when you're at a professional level, there are some right reasons for doing this. Right. Outside of just the love of the game, and winning and money. It has to be other things. And so if you put those things in perspective, then yeah. Anyway, all right. So thoughts on these coaches? Get your life right.
Yeah, I got to do better.
How about that?
I will say one coach that kind of, when I heard his explanation of it, it humanized it for me.
Right.
Was James Franklin from Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
He went over a lot of things, and you can tell that he's a coach that cares about his players because he talked about the or I don't even know if it's weekly. I think it might be like every few days he has a Zoom meeting with not only his players'
His
parents.
coaches. The parents.
Their parents.
That's what I'm saying. But that his heart, that's my whole point.
Right.
Even if you had said we won't play football, but you said it from the right place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I said it was a heart check for me.
Yeah.
If you coming out and you go pro football during this, you better come with the right reason. So James Franklin, thank you for a right reason.
Right.
Which was, you can tell if you want, the reasoning he gave was, it made sense.
Yeah.
But it's for the kids.
Right. It's
not
for the
about,
kids. It's not about him or
yeah.
what he thinks, but he's asking the questions like, you know, what's going to happen with these kids? Like, if you guys cancel the season, can you give these kids an idea of what life looks like afterwards?
Yeah.
Will they still have their scholarship if they're a fifth-year player?
Right.
What's going to happen with the players who are coming in, the freshmen who are supposed to come in January?
Right.
What's going to happen with the amount of scholarships that a team gets to have? Because you got players who aren't leaving.
Right. You give
and players coming in.
That's right.
So
no, I mean, his stuff is logical.
Yeah.
What he said makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Heart check.
Yeah. And I think it's important to have like said those things.
Yeah. Heart check. I get it. I get it. You concerned and genuinely concerned about the kids.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right.
Draymond Green. I'm sick of the NBA and tampering. Now we talk about, you know, our affinity for Adam Silver.
Yeah. And this is one where they lose it for me.
So what I think needs to happen is I understand why you don't do away with it in general. Like, I think both of us had a problem when they did it with Magic, right?
Yes.
A couple of years ago. And so I think they need to redefine what tampering is.
Absolutely.
Draymond Green was on with Ernie, Chuck,
and Shaq. Yep.
And Kenny. No, actually, no, Kenny. Shaq wasn't there.
Okay, that's why he was there.
That's why he was there. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
And so they asked him about what was that kid's name?
Oh gosh, what child's name?
Devin
Booker.
Devin Booker, thank God.
Devin Booker.
All right, it's right there at the end.
Yeah.
Asked him about Devin Booker, and he said that he should leave, which I think at least half of America believes that, and
probably more than half.
Right. He was fined for tampering for that comment, and it's like, come on, man. Like, are you going to create a situation where these guys can't be on TV because they are being asked questions and they're answering them?
Yeah, like, that's what they're doing.
It's not. It didn't like he said he needs to come.
My opinion. Right.
It's not like he said he needs to come play with the Warriors.
Right.
He said that he needs to leave.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I don't. They just going too far with this tampering. Like,
I think this was ridiculous. I think it was ridiculous. Don't ask me to come on the show and give my opinion about things and then censor it, because that's against the law. First of all, let's start there. That's against the law.
Right.
Don't censor what I say. Nowhere did he, like you said, he didn't mention coming to play for the Warriors. He just said, get out.
Right.
Go somewhere where you can play that's going to be good for you. Obviously, at this very present moment, the Warriors wouldn't be the place to go anyway. If you're trying to go somewhere where they're doing big things right now. So, he didn't tell him go to the Lakers. He didn't say, you know what I'm saying? He didn't say go play for the Bucks. He just said, get out. And so it's not, how is it tampering? The only way it would have been tampering is he was like, yo, this kid needs to leave and he needs to come play with us.
That's tampering.
Might look like tampering.
Yeah.
But just to give his opinion, and I'd have been like, whoever asked me that question, we splitting is fine.
Right. Like
TNT, y'all finna give me this
we
money.
about to say TNT, y'all forget
giving me my money back.
Y'all pay this fine.
That's it.
Cause y'all
giving me my money. That's right. So yeah, no, I feel like it's a little too sensitive. Mm-hmm. Y'all being a little too sensitive. Y'all need to really look at that. I think the NBA Players Association, Chris Paul, they need to really address this in the off season. Like, listen, either y'all don't want us to do these things, we won't talk to the media at all, which will be a problem, mm-hmm. or you need to let up.
Right.
As long as I didn't cuss nobody out, talk about the refs, there's certain things I get. Okay, fine. But me giving my opinion about a player, like, or either you make these people not ask us about other people. Mm-hmm. If we're on a team actively participating, whether that's coach, GM, whoever, don't ask me about a player on another team.
Right.
That's the only other way you can get around this.
Send the memos to TNT and all these places that we have
no
to
longer
be
asking
for, and
yeah. No longer will I answer a question about a player that is not on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they can all just take the beast mode's stance on
it. Right. Just here so
I ain't got nothing to say. I'm good. Ain't got nothing to say.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Right. So, all right.
Mental health moment.
Yeah.
So in researching, an athlete to highlight, we came across this website, Athletes for Hope, mm-hmm. Pass the Passion. And this athlete has detailed, well, maybe not detailed because they approximate a lot, but they have numbers on the amount of athletes in the United States, how many athletes who, just by percentages, may be dealing with some type of mental health issues, and they provide resources to these athletes.
Amazing.
Like resources to, therapists, sports psychologists.
I need to get my name on that list.
Right, yeah.
Y'all need some coaches.
They highlight athletes who share their story. Mm-hmm. And not just like very well-known athletes either, but like, anybody who wants to share their story.
That's right.
They have resources for them to share. And it looks like they're partnered with Nike, ATP, awesome. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Andre Agassi Foundation.
I love some Andre Agassi.
Right. And active schools.
Okay.
Just to name a few, even though that was a little more than a few, but it's some more. And I was like, I ain't going to do all these names.
Right. Okay. Y'all get the point. They got some sponsors. They got some great partners and collabs. Yeah.
But shout out to them, for creating this website. Because, until we went looking, we didn't even know this thing existed.
Right. Right. And I love it. And literally, this is amazing. Like, yeah, I love it. I love that the awareness and the focus to put something together that can make it easily accessible for athletes at every level. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, no matter what like you said, you could be the most popular to the one that nobody knows. You could have been Mr. What do they call him? What's the last person that gets picked in the draft?
Was it Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant. You could be him, and so it's all good. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that they put this together. I am going to reach out to them for real though.
Yeah.
Like literally, I want to see. Do you all do coaching as well? Because I feel like that's. I just had this conversation with a new patient yesterday. I was saying how we, as coaches, what we can do, our part in proactively helping with mental health is helping people reach goals and succeed at things. In order to have a full life, a life that is satisfactory for them, so that they can not necessarily have all of the stressors that would cause them to have some of the mental issues they might have otherwise. So it's almost a proactive approach to helping people with their mental health.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just the life coach plug.
No,
no, really, it is. It's real. It's that's why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay.
All right. On to the real.
Yep.
All right. Who we got?
Dhani
Jones.
Yeah.
Dhani Jones might be the most eccentric linebacker I've ever seen.
Him and Vaughn. Woo, geez. Listen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about Vaughn. Right.
Well, what has he been doing?
What hasn't he been doing? I looked him up. I can't even remember what I sent to you about him. Did I send you something specific about him? But I know that since he left the NFL, he's been into all kinds of stuff. He's got philanthropic endeavors. He's got a bow tie cause where they design signature bow ties for organizations.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, which I love, he's chairman of an investment group called, I don't know how they pronounce that, Quay Capital Partners. He's also quite a bit of a traveler.
Yeah.
And so he did a travel log memoir called The Sportsman Unexpected Lessons from an Around the World Sports Odyssey. Love it. Amazing. And that was back in 2011. And so he also hosted on the Travel Channel a show called Dhani Tackles the Globe.
Oh, wow. I never heard of that.
Yeah. So he's
I'm sure that was an interesting show.
Oh, I said I had to go find it. I'm like, it's got to be somewhere out there to find.
Right.
So yeah. And then CNBC, he did a venture capitalist show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an analyst for football, but other sports. And he was he did extensive coverage for the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
In other sports. Because of his travels, I think he's his range of knowledge is probably a little different. You know what I mean? So he just, So I think that's pretty cool. He was in Rio for the games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I can't remember what So y'all, let me just preface this by saying I send Jarrett so much stuff.
Yeah.
I do. I'm sorry, Jarrett, but I
know it's okay.
Every time I see something, I'll be like, "Oh, send that to Jarrett," because I see so much stuff. So I don't even remember where I sent it from or what I sent you.
He's done so much, so even without this, you know what I'm saying? He still was a great candidate for, onto the real. But what you sent me is that he had partnered with this nonprofit organization called Stand Together and Family Independence Initiative.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they raised over $100 million.
Yes.
Give about 200,000 people a one-time payment of $500.
Yeah.
For COVID relief.
Yes,
and
that's what it was.
While I don't know who's listening, while that 500 may not sound like a lot,
it'll help. It'll buy some groceries.
I'm about to say, when you have bills to pay and you don't have any income in, that $500. That $500 can mean everything. Yeah. So
your hair, pull it back. Your hair.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. There you
go. Sorry to our viewers. I don't know what was going on back there. I think I grabbed a hair.
You did, and then it just stood out. Yeah. So but yeah. No, that's right. That's what it was. That's amazing. And it was the part that impressed me most was they did it in such a short period of time. He put it out with this group and this organization, and it was less than, I don't even think they had a month, and they had $100 million. I was like, can he be my friend?
Right.
I need to learn from him.
Hey guys,
really.
Let's do this for my student loans. And
Oh
go.
God. Right. Oh goodness. But yeah, like for real. I'm like, man, listen, as somebody who's worked in nonprofit for a lot of years, to be able to raise $100 million is not a simple feat.
Right.
And to do it in such a short frame is probably darn near never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to him for, his efforts and putting his name out there to help and get this done for them. And for the people who received it, like you said, I know it doesn't seem like a lot when we talk about it in terms of what's going on in the world. It's still a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
It's still a blessing. So good stuff, sir.
Yeah, shout out to you, Mr. Jones.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Feel good final thought?
Yeah,
now,
man. This one, woo,
this one came out of nowhere.
I'm excited.
This is another one of those that Stephanie sent me. But when she sent it, I had no idea because when the report first came out,
see how they do us?
Right? It just talked about The Rock. And I understand
we talked
that
about The Rock.
Right. I understand that from the standpoint of it's a bigger story, you know what I'm saying, with The Rock and his celebrity because people know him. But I don't think that you divorce that story from this part.
Not at all.
And this part hasn't been getting enough steam.
Not at all. At all. And
so while The Rock did purchase the NFL, or he was a part of a group that purchased it, the XFL. Oh man, oh Lord.
Just saying. He purchased the NFL?
Fake news.
Okay. Right. We are not doing that. Yeah.
We know that he was a part of a group that purchased the XFL.
Yeah.
And a part of that group is Dany Garcia, who becomes the first woman to own an entire sports league independent from a team. And
I'm sorry, I'm dancing.
She was the architect in this acquisition.
Yeah. Let's not get it twisted. This woman is a boss.
Yeah.
This is a boss right here. You hear me?
Yeah.
She is a boss. I love it. She's a boss. She's the CEO, chairwoman of the Garcia Companies and TGC Management. Wow. She oversees a portfolio of brands of business, entertainment, and food, including TGC Management, 7 Bucks Companies, Terramania Tequila, Athleticon, the Project Rock Collection at Under Armour, Voss, Adam Tickets, Salt and Straw, and now the XFL.
Man.
This is a huge boss.
Yeah, huge.
She's my shero. I need to meet her. Listen, girl. So I'm like, maybe I can be a chaplain for an XFL team.
I mean,
see, we got a woman in place now. So you know what I'm saying? Like, she got me uber hyped. I'm serious.
Yeah. This is huge. And I'm glad that The Rock went out and made sure that he gave her, you know what I'm saying, her kudos for this acquisition.
Right. That's right. He didn't do this by himself, and he was real clear about that. This is not, obviously, she's probably the brains behind most of this. Like you said, she was the one that kind of orchestrated it.
Yeah.
So, let's be clear. It wasn't a charity thing from The Rock. Like, well, let me just let her be. No.
Mm-hmm.
She was the charity. Come on, Rock. I know your name will pull more weight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already managing you. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. I'm hyped up, excited. Yeah. I'm like, there's two stories about boss women in the same podcast. Kamala Harris and Dany Garcia. Like, come on, baby. Yeah. So no, this is real cool. Love it.
Yeah, it is.
Real cool. Okay.
All right. Show picks.
Wait. They were married? I'm sorry.
Who?
Her and The Rock.
What?
It says, is this right?
Where you see that at?
Yes, they were married.
Did not know that.
They got divorced, but they were married.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry. That just popped up. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, they got a divorce in 2007.
Oh, wow.
They were
I don't even
married
know
in
what to say to
97.
that. I'll say we're married for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's
Wow.
okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I threw that loop out there. I just saw it. I was like, wait, what? So even more impressive that they worked together for all these years, even after, you know what I mean?
And she still like manages his money and his
yeah.
his brand,
Love it. That means that says a lot about her.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
There's a little loop in there at the end.
No, that's all right. That's an important thing. Like I hadn't even seen that in my
yeah.
In looking her up.
Okay.
All right, show
all
picks.
All right. So I'm about
what
to change it up on you again from what I said. I'm gonna get to that one eventually because this is the second week in a row I've done this, but I'm gonna change it up again. So this one, I watched season 1, fell in love with this show. You know how Netflix take 10 years to put out the next
another season. Yes, Lord.
But they finally put out season 2 of this show, and it's a CW show. So I imagine I could have been watching it on CW, but I didn't know. It's called In the Dark.
In the Dark. Okay.
Very, very, very good show.
Yeah.
Very good show. It's about a blind lady who, you will just have to go see. Okay.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
She does. She gets involved in all kinds of mess because she has no fear. She's very independent. She moves around. I think it's set in Chicago. So, she moves around and does her thing. But it started out in the first season. Her best friend was a young black guy. She's a white lady. Was a young black guy who was a drug dealer.
Oh, wow.
But that was her best friend. She would literally sit out on the streets with him and just talk for hours at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he ended up being murdered.
Oh,
and she set out on this mission to find out who did it.
Mm-hmm.
As a blind lady. Boss, okay? So, it's a good show. Now this season was a whole different thing, but it's a very good show. You don't know, when you don't know what's going to happen, that's when it's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was, kind of Queen of the South-ish in the way that it feels.
Okay.
Did you watch Queen of the South?
That. No, I still haven't watched that.
Bro.
You said it was good.
Ooh.
You know what? And I've heard, a few different people talk about it. I gotta sit down and carve out some time to actually watch that.
Now, so that means Marrying Millions, Queen of the South, now In the Dark. You gotta catch up.
I know.
Listen. I know working 2 jobs is not making it easy, but find you some time, man. I'm telling you. But no, that's definitely my show pick.
Okay. All right. So mine is, and it's funny because I told you I had started watching this, and it's interesting, but like you said, it's hard to find time to watch it. So, I've been watching it as I'm going to sleep, and so I done missed a good chunk of it. But you guys know, and I've talked about how much I love history.
This our nerd baby right
here. But the important part is true history. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The real.
Yeah. And so some of these things that I've learned by watching Oliver Stone's Untold History of the United States have been mind-blowing. Because we get fed the narrative of history through the lens of, honestly, oppressors. And it's unfortunate, but it's on that slant in order to kind of make the history of our country a little more glorious. It kind of makes me think about how I don't know if it's Arizona or Texas or one of those states where they want to remove the word slave out of the history book and identify them as workers. So not say slave anymore, workers.
I'm sorry. Work indicates that I get paid, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Free laborers.
I'm be quiet. Go ahead.
So
just be quiet. Mm-hmm.
This whitewashing or this,
no, that's an accurate way to put it.
Yeah.
Our whitewashing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of history, like to have someone like Oliver Stone, who is a white man.
Yeah, I mean, we don't blanket all white people.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, no, tell the truth.
Right. So for him to like tell the truth, and one of the things he started with was World War II and just how we got in it and how it really ended, and not the,
atomic bomb. We
dropped it and saved the day. No,
right.
It really talks about what happened, and he just did a really good job. And I have to go back and watch episode 2 all over again because I think I made it 15 minutes before.
Oh wow!
I was calling hogs. But that's my one for this week.
Yeah. Now that I just finished that In the Dark yesterday, so I'll go and find this so I can. Hopefully, I won't be too angry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I started Monday, so yeah, I finished. It's only 13 episodes.
It's one of those documentary style,
I'm good. I'm gonna go watch it.
If it could get real uninteresting at some at some points, but you're gonna see some stuff that'll probably make you mad.
See, that's the reason. If you want me to tell you the truth, that's why I don't watch a lot of it. I mean, I need to know it though, so I need to get out of my emotions about stuff and just try to watch it from an intellectual. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a gaining of knowledge sense, because that's why, like, literally, it took me so long to watch that movie. What is it? About the dude that infiltrated the Klan.
Oh, Black Klansman?
Yes. It took me so long to watch that movie because I was like, I'm going to be so mad. I don't want to. Yeah. Like, stuff like that, I have to be in a space. Like, literally, I might have to have a glass of wine just to watch this documentary. Like, chill me out, because I get all hyped up. Me and I'll be at work Monday talking to my boss again. I ain't feeling this right now, but you know that.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh. It's all good, though. Yeah. All right.
We at the end of another one.
Yeah.
Episode 73.
Yep.
At the end of episode 73. We thank you guys so much for listening. Certainly reach out to us on our Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is at Field2, the number 2, the real P1. On Instagram is Field, the number 2, the real podcast. If you want to reach out to us via email, it's fieldtotherealpodcast@gmail.com. That's the number 2 again. And go check out our videos on YouTube. I'll check out, see, because we talked before this, and just to make sure like everything was uploaded properly. Right. Because that'd be one of them projects where you gotta upload it and then just walk away from it because it takes so long to upload. Takes so long. Yeah, I don't know that it happened. Yeah. So just go check that out. So Yeah. But thank you guys again for listening to us. We love y'all. Peace. Put the cameras on me. 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 Put the cameras on me.